welcome to New York City. We are at the Coppola Cafe in Greenwich Village, about to go for a day in the life of a New Yorker. I'm just going to show you places that usually I frequent as a New Yorker here in Lower Manhattan. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and let's explore a day in the life as a New Yorker here in Lower Manhattan. Hello everyone, I am at a coffee shop that opened up during the pandemic and is actually owned by two Italian owners from southern Italy. I'm actually featuring them in a vlog that I'm doing called The Real Italy in New York. And it's a bit tricky sometimes to tell the difference between Italian American and Italian from Italy. There's more than 100 years of separation, and that's what my entire series is all about. The last episode was with Mary Jane, where we visited two pizzerias. This is a coffee shop here in Greenwich Village called the Coppola Cafe, and I wanted to give them a shout out in this live video because they were so kind enough to invite me again. I actually filmed a vlog and there was an issue with audio, so I had to come back and film with them again, and they were so kind to invite me to a little bit more food this time around. So join me as we walk around, well, first eat and then walk around Lower Manhattan. So here I'm trying their focaccia vegana, which is their vegetarian focaccia. And they offer like pizzas, they also offer paninis with the classic cheeses and Italian cured meats. But I decided to go for the vegetarian option, which is zucchini, avocado, tomatoes, and artichoke. Let's try it out. It's really good, really tasty. Soft, chewy bread. Classic focaccia. I love the vegetables. A really great combination. Hello, Lonan. Is that keto? I'm not entirely sure if you would consider this keto. Maybe. Wait up, man. So I'm not entirely sure if it's keto. And this is one of the owners of the Coppola Cafe. I'm on live video. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if it's keto. I think because this is made with bread, it might not be. But it is definitely vegetarian. So, a lot of vlogs out here are made on YouTube. I see a lot of day in the life vlogs. I try to like highlight what's a normal day, and some of them are you know, they quite show the highlights of a day in the New Yorker. They show you what's the best of the best. So sometimes it doesn't show kind of the authentic version of life in New York. And I want to show you that today. It's going to be slower, it's live video, there's no editing. I just wanted to show you what a day in the life is, as me as a New Yorker walking around, eating, drinking a little bit of coffee, and I'm about to go to Soho to do a little bit of shopping. So I just wanted to show you that day in the life. I'm going to take another bite. So Happy Chick says raw vlog. Yes, much better. I'm glad you enjoy that. What am I eating? So I'm eating a vegan focaccia. It's a focaccia bread. Focaccia bread is basically like similar to the pizza bread that you have like with the Roman style pizza, except usually served either as a bread or with very basic ingredients. Unlike Roman pizza, which is more formally cooked and baked after you make the bread, you end up like putting a bunch of ingredients and putting it back in the oven. Focaccia is a little bit different. It's just the bread, and then they just put some fresh ingredients on top of it. And this is their espresso, and look how amazingly dark this espresso is. The cool thing is they make their espresso, and you're going to see a little bit more about this in the video, with Robusta beans. Most espresso in New York City in America is made with 100% Arabica beans. And it's due to... No worries. No worries at all, man. No worries. Feel free to stay if you want to.
I'm getting something else.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about
that. No worries. So, I'm back from Boston, yeah. Most beans are made... Oh, the person who stopped me was someone who's making a call, and they felt a little bit bad that they were chatting while I was recording, but it's not too bad. Most beans in America are 100% Arabica due to Robusta beans getting a very bad rap in the early 1900s here in the US, mostly because Robusta beans tend to be very low quality back in the 1900s. However, Italians always use Robusta throughout all the 1900s until now. And that's what makes Italian coffee taste stronger, quote unquote. The stronger taste is more because Robusta is a little bit more acidic, but in a good way. Try it out. Taking the Italian way, look, all that crema, one shot. And you say that I look younger. A few people. I'm back from Boston, Joanne. Yes, indeed. Nigilia, thank you so much. Edward, have a coffee on me. Thank you so much, Edward. I appreciate it. Have a coffee on me. Can't wait to go back to New York, maybe next year. Until then, you, Ken, and Thomas, Tom D. Oh, I'm so glad. Tom Delgado. I'm so glad all of us are fueling your addiction, Edward, including John Barr as well. Check out What a Shame Mary Jane as well. She's amazing. Veggies on the focaccia. Oh yes, there's veggies on the focaccia. And I'm back from Boston. Indeed I am, for a raw vlog. And rewatch your duck tour. I really enjoyed it, says Ronald. Oh, I'm so happy you did. And you do look younger, says Margaret. Oh, is it because I shaved my beard? And Rosalind, hello. Veronica says, look, you look so much younger without the hair on your face. When you saw me in Boston was 1 week without shaving. It wasn't even that long. And Mike says, great to see you today. I'm so glad people are enjoying this. You know what? Like I had a little bit, we're gonna walk in about like 5 minutes as I finish this. Denise, yeah. Denise asks exactly where I'm eating right now. It's called the Coppola Cafe, like Francis Ford Coppola, though Coppola is named after an Italian hat. And it is on, I actually don't know what this intersection is. I'll let you know the address. I actually don't know the intersection off the top of my head, but this is Jones Street is the intersection. So Coppola right there. Zoom in right there, Coppola. And we're right in the heart of Greenwich Village, right next to all the major pubs, bars, restaurants, sites, all the LGBT history is right nearby. It's always so filled with so many things to see and do here. Bernadette, thank you. 171 West 4th Street. So we're 4th and Jones. Thing is, with this area, Greenwich Village, once you start going more into West Village, the streets start changing names. They're not actual grid. That's why I actually don't come to the street super often, even though there's a lot of history here. I usually go to H Street and Bleecker. I go to Bleecker a lot for food and for coffee and pizza. And thus, I thought this was a different named street rather than 4th. So thank you for letting us know. And Alan, I enjoy all your live streams. Makes me feel connected here. And I love your little cafes as you show Ariel. I'm so glad you do. Yeah, you know, I love outdoor seating. This cafe in New York, 2019, seems like such a long time ago. It wouldn't have outdoor seating. It would just be indoors. It's the nature of most coffee shops. And coffee shops in New York, what I really didn't like compared to, say, Paris or Rome, was that they were in tiny little spots, or actually not Rome, but Paris. They were in tiny little spots with very little seating. Rome doesn't even have seating because they're just bars. London was kind of half and half. London, the nice thing is you can grab your coffee to go and drink at a bench. You know, there's a bunch of places to sit in public in Rome. And same thing with Boston.
Yo, brother, did you get the text I sent you?
But here, now things are changing. And let me grab this last bite. Really great. New York is starting to feel more European, which is nice. It's nice to sit outdoors. You can't go away from the common New York experience of having loud people on their cell phones. That will always be true to New York, but at least we have the European style seating. Yeah, but what's going to happen when winter comes? Great question. I don't know what's going to happen when winter comes, but we're going to walk around. And I'm going to show you a little bit lower Manhattan from my perspective of just like a normal day. And we're going to potentially see several businesses starting to make more indoor seating outdoors, like heated seating with outdoor like patios.
Okay,
I'll show you. It's hard to explain.
They're definitely into it. So make sure you have answers for all her questions, right? And just be super confident.
And New York winters are freezing cold. Yes, they are. Not pleasant to be outside at all.
All right, perfect. And she already knows that the $100 comes back in increments over the next 4 months. Like, that's perfect too. Like, yeah. I mean, you were there when we talked to her, so you could definitely sign her up. Yeah.
Delicioso.
Perfect. All right, have a good day, brother. All right, peace.
Just saw a walking tour of Sorrento, Italy. So majestic. I wish I had enough time in Naples and nearby areas. I will 100% done the walking tour in Sorrento. I end up doing Naples, epic 3-hour walk through all of Naples. I also end up doing last year Pompeii, which are amazing places. I really want to go back to Italy. There's so much awesome things to do. I think Italy would be a perfect place to do more of these like kind of casual live videos. Of course, with the history. There's history live videos, which I did last year. But I think there's also a place for doing like the casual live videos where not much happens. It's just sitting at cafes, going to places, going for strolls. If you ever see the film Call Me By Your Name, you'll know that is the vibe in Italy. It's a beautiful vibe. All right, let's walk around. So Coppola Cafe one more time. You'll see on my vlog soon. And let's continue for a walk. I'll show you a little bit more from the outside. You'll see it from the inside in my vlog. Right there. And here is 4th Street. in New York City. So let's head out. Give them a visit if you're in New York City. Coppola Cafe. They opened up. Someone earlier asked me exactly when they opened. They opened at first in March. You'll know a little bit more details in my video. But they had to close because things were closing. And I think they reopened around late April, early May. And they've been, going through the motions ever since. But it's a pretty hard business out there with a new business that are immigrants. They are not Americans, so they don't get the support that Americans do when it comes to emergency relief. And if you're here, give them some business. Have a cup of coffee or a focaccia or something like that. And the owners are there. The guy I pointed out, he's one of the owners. So it's a beautiful, wonderful couple that own the business and are there, which is rare in New York City. And this is what I'm really liking about real Italian places. They are here in their businesses. A lot of New York places, unfortunately, an owner opens up the shop and then they hand it over to people to work it. And the thing is, the people working it, they're not always in it for the business, for food, for a passion for food. They're in it for making ends meet. How you would say in America, just to pay the bills. And that kind of sucks, to be honest. I love when I went to Italy and London and Paris, and a few places had that vibe as well, where people were there because they were passionate about the food. Paris definitely was the case as well. People were there because they were passionate about the food. They like working it. The waiters there were professional waiters. They've done waiting jobs their entire life, and they get paid a full salary. But here, in most American shops, you don't have that passion. And I think the best way to seek it nowadays is with these Italian cafes that are popping up, Italian pizzerias popping up. And it's not only limited to Italians, it also applies to Indians and Chinese and a few other businesses that are owned by the owners. And they are there. All right. The stream on YouTube is sooner than Facebook. Oh, Facebook has a little bit longer delay. Interesting. Howdy, Judith. Howdy, Chris. Hello, Dora. Hello to see my hometown. Welcome. Can't wait to go to Greece. What Ariel said, I concur, says Christian. Oh, cool, Christian. I'm glad you agree with me. Hello, Lisbon. How much the pre-carved pumpkins? Those pre-carved pumpkins weren't for sale. It was just a decoration for the haunted bar, the slaughtered lamb. And yep, that bar is haunted. And I actually might do a video on it, thinking about it right now. Hello, Dwayne. I love the Italian cafe and supermarket in Edmonton. Oh, cool that Edmonton has an Italian cafe. Hello, Tom Brady from Croatia. Oh, I'm glad that Boston is not the only place that has a Tom Brady. There's one in Croatia too. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, aloha, Laureen. Nice to see you here. Every time I hear aloha, it makes me really want to go Honolulu. I was actually tempted to go Honolulu during this pandemic period. Here is the Stonewall National Monument. And this is a work of art that was done a few decades ago. And it depicts a lesbian couple and a gay couple. So covering the L and G of LGBT. Or covering the LGB of LGBT. Contrary to some people think this is a transgendered sculpture, but I don't think the people depicted here are trans. Though there are talks of adding a sculpture of Marsha P. Johnson, which would be really, really cool, in my opinion. Marsha P. Johnson was one of the trans women who were involved in the Stonewall riots right here in Stonewall Inn. And Lori says, yes, please come when it's safe. We'll do. Hawaii has some really cool history. I actually did some digging in Hawaiian history just during the pandemic. Hello from Romania. Barry says Tom Brady is in Tampa Bay. No, Tom Brady is in Croatia. As the real Tom Brady is the one who's watching right now, as far as I'm concerned. He's in Croatia. Hello, Linda. Hello, Adam from Kosovo. Maybe you heard of it. New York is trying to bounce back. Yes, it is, Adam. Hello, Elisa. Glad you're tuning in, Elisa. Nice to see you here. So Crisp says, Christian, oh, I'm glad. Do you know if they have a lighted pumpkin display on Governor's Island? I don't think so. There is a place in New York City that does pumpkins. There's definitely one in Long Island, which I went to, which was really magical. I went to it maybe like 5 years ago. Hello, Gonza de Argentina. Gracias por mirando. Are you near Orchid Street? I'm a bit farther away from Orchid Street. That is in Lower East Side, so it is a bit farther away. Lisbon, thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate it. All right. So focaccia bread is really good. Slatter pub there. Maria, I was born in Naples, and yes, you're correct. The outside eateries give you a European feel. Yep, they do. And the stream here is sooner on Facebook. And Paola, ciao! It's always a great pleasure to see your videos. Oh, I'm so glad. So feel free to ask me anything about, let's keep the conversation to life as a New Yorker. So feel free to ask me anything about life as a New Yorker. And I'm gonna point out just places I usually go to as a New Yorker. And we're gonna cover a little bit of shopping as well as a New Yorker, because that's a part that I usually don't cover because I mostly talk about history, architecture, and food, especially food history. So today's going to be a special one. But free-flowing. I have no plan, no agenda, no map. I'm just kind of wiggling around the city as I would actually do in my normal day life. I don't really walk with so many directions in my normal day life. I like to wander a lot. It's part why my videos are really good at wandering, because I'm just do it as a normal day life. Here's one of the most beautiful coffee shops, in my opinion, in all of New York. Despite the graffiti here, it's usually not there. Someone did that very recently. But this coffee shop is gorgeous. This is Joe's Coffee, and it has that beautiful benches in the front. However, they recently expanded to outdoor patio seating over here. And I love here doing this. Elisa says, today I'm not so happy. I deleted a video from a memory of my smartphone. How to recover? I'm desperate. Oh, Elisa, I'm so sorry to hear that. Go to your, I'll make this into tech support, but go to your phone, click the photos, videos tabs, and scroll all the way down, and you'll see a section called recently deleted. You'll probably find it there. So yeah, one of my favorite coffee shops, Joe Coffee. Juan, you love all my videos. Oh, I'm so glad you do. And this is the haunted house on Gay Street. 12 Gay Street. Which New York City establishment has your favorite espresso? Asked Todd. Great question, Todd. I might be doing yet another video on this because I think I've done various videos on this, 2 videos of this history on Facebook. Search the Phantom of Gay Street Urbanist on Facebook and you'll find it. But let me know for all the YouTube viewers, would you like me to do kind of a repeat on YouTube so people can finally see on YouTube of the haunted histories of Greenwich Village during Halloween? Let me know. Okay, so espresso, great question. Check out my best coffee videos of New York, but where do I get my usual cup of espresso? I usually go for espresso nowadays. I prefer espresso because to me it's like the fresh way of drinking coffee. Thus, I go to Joe Coffee or I like Joe the best. Joe is number one for me, really. This Joe, and there's a few other Joes in New York City. They're all around the city and they always have great coffee and always great service. To me, it's very important. New York City is a city with a lot of options. There's countless places to try, and coffee is plentiful. This is one of the coffee capitals of the world. And that said, with so much abundance of coffee, I've tended to become a little bit more pickier. No longer do I care specifically about the coffee because generally it's good in many, many places. What I care more about is the people. And this also applies to food. And to a smaller extent, shopping, though that's a little bit tougher because most places for shopping are bigger businesses. But I care about the people, and they make a world of difference. If you go into an establishment and they have smiles on their faces, they're always happy to chat or to, suggest something. If you feel good walking into a place, that to me, I rather spend 10 times more or give them way more business than I would in a place where it's just straight to the point. I get it, it's New York. There's no time for small chat for many people. Coffee shops do get very busy, I get it. But somehow, there's coffee shops where despite it being super busy, like Joe's, and Joe's is a very good example, despite being super busy, despite them serving hundreds of people per day, somehow they always have a smile on their faces, and it's not a fake smile. They're always cheerful and happy. So, yeah, let me know if you agree with that. Here is a new coffee shop. I actually haven't heard of this one. It's called Saltwater. Interesting name for a coffee shop. Saltwater. Not so appetizing, but interesting coffee shop. Yeah, nice to see some outdoor seating. So I'm getting a few other. Hi there, weather still looks nice, isn't it? Yes, it is, Lucas. It's sweater weather, but only one sweater, luckily. To me, it's cardigan weather. I love my cardigans. Yeah. People buy from people always have, yes. It's all easy to get caught up in the cool places in New York, quote unquote cool. The places that have, quote unquote good food. And there's this sense in New York that good food doesn't need good service. I've noticed this. You see this stereotype in some films where the good coffee shop, quote unquote, is the one where they're snooty, snobby, and kind of standoffish. Same thing with the high-end restaurant. There's a great example in the movie Call Me Maybe with Keanu Reeves. And the high-end restaurant they depict there, that takes place in LA, but also applies to New York, is that if it's a really cool, good restaurant, it's bad food. It's bad service or standoff service. And it's easy to get caught up in that trap, thinking, oh yeah, I have to trade in good service for good food. Not quite. Not quite. It's a little bit hard if you're a tourist and here for only a week and you don't have so much time leisurely to explore places. But at least with my show, maybe you can get some good tips of where to go. Is YouTube streaming your full-time job? Yes and no. I am a freelance filmmaker, so no, I don't make enough money fully from YouTube or Facebook yet. But most of my jobs that I do have as a freelance come from all the videos I put out on YouTube and Facebook. People see my videos and content, and they hire me to do different things such as editing and filming events and videos and commercials. Babu has amazing food. Oh, cool. Babu is right here across the block. Evil says, careful. People are behind you with knives, stones, and Molotovs. Yep. New York City is a state of anarchy, so just watch out. Look at all the anarchy here. It's a crazy amount of anarchy. Oldest tree in New York City, in Manhattan. Stay tuned for our haunted history tour if you guys want one. Call Me Maybe song is nice. Yes, it is. The movie's fun as well. A little bit stereotypical for a rom-com, but it is very good. Manolito says that's an anarchist tree. It is. It is. So everyone brace yourselves, because as a daily New Yorker, right, I encounter anarchy everywhere I go. I have to really be armed with my cardigan. This might look like a cardigan. Might look like a cardigan, but it's actually a Kevlar vest, because who knows what danger and anarchy might I come across a beautiful park like this. Who knows, right? And also in my bag, I am prepared with various first aid kits and pepper spray, of course, just in case. Just in case, you know, I have to pepper up some of my food in this anarchistic state. Janelle says, please do a haunted tour. Oh, yeah. You're one of my favorite jazz players. I love these guys. Groove Street Merchant. Joe, have I done 360 videos? Yeah, mostly on Facebook. I haven't posted them on YouTube. These guys are not the Groove Street Merchant. They're actually another guy. One of the guys is the same player, but this is a different band. Feel free to Venmo them. So I love these guys. One of the guys is in another band, if I recall correctly, because there's a band of all Japanese guys, and the trumpeter I think is the same guy. It's called Groove Street Merchant, and these guys are different. If anyone could write down what they saw on the Venmo line, put it in the comments. And the movie, yes, the movie is my mistake. It was not Call Me Maybe. It's called Always Be My Maybe. I just watched it for the Keanu Reeves scenes. They're very hilarious. "84 degrees in Austin, and I'm knitting a shawl. I'm enjoying your tour in cooler weather." Oh, I'm so glad you are, Natalia. It's getting hotter now. I think during the middle of the day you might not need a sweater in this weather. The band name, oh sorry, I didn't quite commit it to memory, but I did show quickly the Venmo link earlier, so you can maybe rewind. Here's another guy. So let me put the camera down, answer a few of your questions. Right by the water. Let's do it. Right by the water. All right. Jazz Park Rangers. Thank you. Jazz Park Rangers was those guys. I saw him today at the public library. Oh, cool that you saw that guy. Awesome. You're getting me. I live on Thompson Street. Oh, awesome. That's so cool. Edwina. Edwina, you have an awesome name. You have the same name as a historical figure, the daughter of Edwin Booth, who's Edwina. Jazz Park. I love this park. And yet there's a violinist there. I'll show you soon. My kind of music. Oh, it really is. Let me see if I had any questions. Beautiful day, says Joe. It really is. Talented buskers are one of my favorite things of New York, says Donald. I agree. Especially standing here right by the water. Really cool music. It really is. Judith and Jordan and Happy Chick. And Liz says noise. And someone asked me, let's see, what time is it now? I don't know. If anyone can let us know the time. I usually don't pay attention to the time, to be honest. When people ask me the time, I'm like, oh. I haven't worked a 9 to 5 in 4 years, and I think I stopped caring about the time in 4 years. But it is the afternoon. That's all I can tell you. Oh, I'm getting splashed. And Jazz Park, it is. And what park am I in? This is Washington Square Park. And did I miss any comments, questions? Gorgeous place. It looks surreal. It really does. And the old Tesla lab was around here. Yes, watch my Tesla videos. And we definitely need a haunted tour of New York. Awesome. I think I missed questions, so feel free to ask me again. Let me put on my mask and continue walking around. Oh, wet camera. I'm getting splashed by all the wind. Oh, I'm getting like a nice shower. What kind of shopping am I doing? I am trying to find a cardigan, so we're gonna go to Soho together. I'll point out a few stores that I sometimes visit. Museum tour, yes, I've done it. Check out on Facebook. Urbanist Subway Museum, you'll see it. Or Transit Museum, Urbanist Transit Museum. So Susie, are things gonna shut down in New York again? Sandra, I don't know. I hope not. I'm really trying to enjoy. I would say live in the moment. If you're in New York or if you're in any major city, anywhere around the world, or anywhere, it doesn't even matter if it's a major city. It could be a rural area. Live in the moment. Enjoy whatever you have now. Places are still open in many parts of the world. They have woken up again, but many places are also shutting down again. So live in the moment. Enjoy it for what it is. But this ain't gonna last forever. Things will get better, and they will most likely get better within a year. It's gonna take a little bit longer than we want to, but a little bit less than we actually think it is. And that's what I'm doing right now. Just living in the moment. I know I think things will shut down again because this disease is very strong. Is much stronger in the wintertime. Of course, this is not a medical channel, so do your own research. But yeah, live in the moment. Live and live. I'm living and living. Here's the Washington Square Park Arch. Washington Square Park Arch. Sometimes I say Arc because that's how they call it in France. Arc de Triomphe. But here, arc means something differently. We have a differentiation between arc with a K and arc with a C. Are you getting Mr. Rogers' sweater? Not quite. He had a different style. I'm not so into the style he had. I like more of the kind of the V-neck style for cardigans. Critical thinking is critical. Someone earlier said they love my videos. They're stylish, calm, and intelligent. I'm so glad you enjoyed that combination of factors for these live videos. That is very awesome to hear, and that means a lot. The cops are actually guarding the arch. Yes, they were, because they were vandalized. Unfortunately. I think some people don't quite get that there are statues that might be much more controversial than just poor old George Washington. What's inside the Washington Park Arch? Stairs leads to a top area, which a few beatniks, or they weren't beatniks, they were before beatniks, they were called Bohemians. Few Bohemians back in the 1910s snuck all the way to the top, had a tea party with Japanese lanterns, and declared Greenwich Village an independent country. But I'll do a haunted tour and talk a little bit more about that later. Do I play any instruments? No. The only instrument I know how to play is the triangle. I'm very good at it. I'm that man in the band with the triangle and really rocking it. This area is common for skateboarders. They're always here. Skating by the Garibaldi statue. No, that's our anarchy. Tea parties are anarchy, yes. Skaters, no. Skaters are, good common American values. That's what skating is. When it comes to jazz and tea parties, pure anarchy. Why can't more jazzers and tea party makers be more like the skaters? Why can't they be? Jane says, but that is another story. I say that a lot. It's just sometimes, I just like getting deep in history, and sometimes it takes quite a while to tell you a full story. And that's why I say that statement a lot. Another jazzer, something like this. Anarchist right here. Any sports. Handball. Handball is my best sport. To extension, I like racquetball. Joe, you play the square. Ooh, Joe. What type of camera? iPhone 11. The link is in the comments, and all my gimbal and everything. Or were they smoking? Yes, you might smell the marijuana here, cannabis. It's not technically legal, but the police stopped really enforcing it. Unless if you're smoking copious amounts of marijuana. If it's copious amounts, then maybe they'll tell you to stop. If the blunt is the size of a small dog, they might tell you to stop. Otherwise, they don't care. But of course, cannabis is not anarchistic at all. What's anarchy are all these pigeons. Pure anarchy right here. Look at this. What is this? Why isn't the police doing anything about this? And how we say here in New York and many parts of America, they give no Fs, these pigeons. It's foul anarchy, yes, literally foul. F-O-W-L, foul anarchy. I love that. Scott, that's a great pun. I love that. See any baby pigeons? No, not yet. The police has not taken care of this anarchy right here. So sad. These pigeons are bothering the poor people who are smoking cannabis in this park. How can they do that? Of course, I'm being satirical, everyone. Don't take this broadcast too seriously. We're just having some light-hearted fun. New York pigeons have an attitude. Yeah, New York attitude. Birds freak me out after watching The Bird, says Lorraine. That movie is quite terrifying. It's a very good Hitchcock movie. You like handball? Check out Westforth handball team. Yes! I've seen them play at Westforth. Gets intense. Coney Island too. I might want to do a handball video soon. I gotta find like a good handball player and show you guys handball. And it's herds of birds, and they don't fly away, they just walk away and give you a dirty look. The pigeons do, yeah. My favorite restaurant. Why don't you like animals? That's from God. Hey, and Adele, we're just having fun. This is not, don't take this video too seriously. Don't take any of my videos too seriously, to be honest. All my videos, they're not history lectures nor they're journalism. They're lighthearted walks around cities. So while I might talk about serious topics sometimes, don't take them too seriously. And I say that with kind of trying to make a point because it's too many people taking things too seriously nowadays. I see very little room for fun online in this current climate. Why? Why does everything have to be so serious? Why does history always have to be so boring and straightforward? And why do food vlogs have to be so tight and just getting to the point? I don't know. I'm coming to the realization that I'm really enjoying this type of meandering content. I'm very good at it, I think. A lot of people do enjoy my style of meandering content. And I thought to myself, I usually do food vlogs, but to be honest, I really don't like filming myself, actually being the one filming and editing as well. It's a whole lot of work. I like being in front of the camera when it comes to food vlogs. And as I did this last food vlog, which I'm excited to put out, but I realized, wait a minute, I like live videos. It's so much fun. And yeah, they're not tight. They're not serious, quote unquote, or they're not straight to the point. They're meandering. They go on tangents. But I think we need to leave room in our lives for tangents. Now, if anyone has any questions about daily life in New York, LED strobes or traditional Philips bulb, that is not quite on topic, but LED lights. Best handle players play in Coney Island. Yes, they do, and Westforth. Stop talking, show me the city. Bollocks. Oh, bollocks, go to another show. You're doing good, Judith. Welcome. It's very relaxing. It really is. A Tesla drive video? Maybe. And why do people take things so seriously, says Kay. Yep, indeed. I agree about the importance of lighthearted fun. Joe says, please lighten up. Indeed. They just made that point by complaining. Society trains our mind to be strict. Yeah, it does. Can you please tell us about, can you please eat a donut? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not in the mood for donuts today, but see my donut video. I did a video about 2 years ago about the best donuts in New York. You can watch on my YouTube. Ariel, good job. And we're just touring and having fun. And great papaya hot dogs are great. I need a filter. Can someone make me one? Will you visit Chinatown? They do need our support. They really do need our support. Chinatown. Places are closing down in Chinatown way too frequently. Stay tuned. I'm going to do Chinatown very soon. And it's going to be a food video. So a live food video. So I can go from place to place and really give them my support. So stay tuned for that. That'll happen soon. All right. And es cerca de Little Italy. Estamos bastante cerca de Little Italy. Estamos como 10 minutos. Bien cerca. And can you have a slice of Nana Maria on Bleecker? Oh, interesting. I had never heard of Nana Maria. So many places in New York. And Bloomberg shut down Canal Street. Canal Street is still open. Gotta get boba tea on the tour then. Oh, yes, 100%. And hello from Slovenia. Nice to see you here. And hello, everyone. Nice to see you here. All right. Watch CPG's Gray's video driving a Tesla, says Zoran. I love CPG Gray. He does a really great videos. He's done a few New York-centered videos. Highly recommend watching him. All right, let's continue walking around. Let me know any questions about life as a New Yorker. Gwen says, I appreciate your spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Gwen. I appreciate my spirit. And if I sound too blunt nowadays, you know, it's not me being cynical. It's not me being jaded. It's me, you know, as New Yorkers say, tired of this SHIT. After a point, you know, you just gotta like stop answering to the naysayers and just do your thing. So let's have some lighthearted fun and walk around. What's my bedtime as a New Yorker? I usually sleep pretty early. I go to sleep around 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Yeah. Do I shop at Whole Foods, Joe? Thank you for asking again, Joe. Do I shop at Whole Foods? Another haunted spot over here. Stay tuned for that. Yes. No, I do not. Very rarely. There are some items in Whole Foods that I like, but Whole Foods cost about 3 times more expensive than Trader Joe's. So I prefer Trader Joe's. It's a third of the price for equally as good quality food. I tend to avoid the other big supermarket chains. I know some people shop at them, but for my own personal opinion, the other supermarket chains don't sell nearly as good quality food as Trader Joe's. So yeah, Trader Joe's. Have you visited the Tenement Museum? I have. Check out my fashion documentary. I posted it during the pandemic. It was like April. Really cool documentary. I get inside look into the Tenement Museum. And I have a full extended tour for supporters, for patrons. So if you want to get access to the full 30-something minute tour of the Tenement Museum, you can also become a patron. Have I ever shopped at Aldi? No, I don't know about Aldi. Judith? Aldo? Were you saying Aldo? Like the shoe company? Or I'm not entirely sure what Aldi is. Let me know. Happy Chick, where am I heading to? Well, I intend to show you Soho for this video. But I am going in a zigzag direction, so I would recommend not trying to follow me on the map. You will get lost. I've taken a lot of twists and turns, going on a lot of tangents. So I would recommend kind of letting go of the map. And then maybe watching my friend Action Kid, who tends to walk in very much more straighter directions when he does his recorded videos. I'm trying to find Action Kid right now. No! But I am going to be seeing Action Kid later tonight. We're going to do a video of Flushing. Stay tuned. Aldi is another supermarket chain comparable to Trader Joe's. Oh, interesting. No, I haven't heard about it. Thank you, everyone, for letting me know. It's a European supermarket near Uptown. Oh, cool. I will check it out. It's like Trader Joe's 2.0. That's cool to know. Hi, love from New York. I'm out of lockdown and heading your way from Manchester. Oh, are you able to travel between UK and New York? If so, that's awesome. All right, now we are in the neighborhood of New York University. And Aldi has been around since the 1980s. Oh, cool. I would be shocked if urbanists found me now. Action Kid, I know exactly where you are, but I won't reveal your location. No, just joking. Thank you so much for tuning in, Action Kid. Why be live with Action Kid? Let us know. I'm doing a video with Action Kid that's recorded, but let me know. Would you guys be interested in a food live video with Action Kid? Let me know in the comments. If permitting, he has time. I'm not entirely sure if he has time. Let's not put undue pressure on him, but I want to know if people are interested in that. Action Kid, or it says he himself is interested in a food live video. Oh, cool. All right. Like Matthew McConaughey likes to say, especially in one of my favorite movies of all time, Dazed and Confused. All right, all right, all right. So, that said, Facebookers and YouTubers, put on your notifications. YouTube, it's the bell button right next to the subscribe button. Facebook is a little bit more complicated, but just click on that following button and you'll see the options there. Here's Think Coffee. Now, Think Coffee doesn't have the best coffee. It's not the friendliest service, but they always have beautiful coffee shops. And whenever things get back to normal, this is the best Think Coffee to visit. It's a chain here in New York City, but the reason this is the best is because they always have events in the back. They have open mic nights, and they also have classical music here at night. It's a coffee shop that at night they sell wine and beer. So it's really, really cool place to go. Highly recommend it. Now, Think Coffee is also famous because of Mr. Robot, and that one was filmed a little bit further down, closer to 14th Street. Excuse me, have you ever visited a Victorian mansion? Yes, Bloxis. A few of them. I visited a Victorian mansion in England, in London. It was called the Dennis Severs House. You have to find that on Facebook. It's not on YouTube. So, urbanist Dennis Severs, and you'll find it. I don't think I've covered any other Victorian mansion thus far. I've been to a few house museums. Oh yeah, the one that you can see in New York is on my YouTube. You go to the haunted tour that I did last year in Greenwich Village. Oh no, that's on Facebook. So on Facebook, I visited last year the Merchant House Museum. I went inside, and that's a Victorian era. Victorian, it's not in England, but it is during that same era, the 1800s here in New York City. Any plan on visiting Albany? 5S, great question. I don't know, what is in Albany? I don't know too much about upstate New York. I've been to Buffalo and Rochester when I was younger, and I didn't find it too interesting, to be honest. And it is dependent on cars, I think. It's not such a walkable area. So let me know if there's anything interesting in Albany. Let me know if you recommend it. I'm sorry writing for the same question 4 times. No worries, I missed them. The state capital's in Albany. All right. I'm not much of a driver. I don't have my own car, and I rarely ever rent cars unless if I have to. So that's why I usually don't cover places that are car dependent. I'm close to Ben's Pizza. Yeah, I'm about a 5-minute walk away from Ben's. Clara says the weather looks beautiful. You could go to Lake George. It's a 3-hour drive, so it's more adventure. Urbanist, you're the best video tourist. Oh yes, I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I miss Insomnia cookies. Yeah, Insomnia cookies. Very famous cookies. They deliver until like 2 a.m., which is kind of crazy to think about. I love Dennis Sever's house, says Richard. Yeah, it's one of my most popular videos in London that I did back in 2018. I'm eager to go back to London. I just bought 2 massive travel books, one on London and one on the UK, Great Britain. And I'm excited to do some research because, I don't know, I'm tempted to test my luck and maybe take a trip out to London this winter. Let me see if that's possible. I really enjoyed your stay in Boston. Oh, I'm so glad. How long have you lived in New York? My entire life. All my years of my very, 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 very long life. You know, I may look like I'm in my early 30s, but I am actually 90 years old. No, I'm just joking. The only other place I lived is in Puerto Rico. Jordan Show says a haunted tour in New York sounds good. The Haunted Blood Manor is open. That is open indeed. Maybe I can sneak in the video there, or maybe I can ask him if I could do a video. So maybe, but thank you. Yes, thank you for the super chat. And haunted tours will be coming on our way. Jordan Show just sponsored part of that haunted tour. Thank you. This is a cool bookstore. Yeah. All right, everyone. We're going to a random bookstore. Day in the life of a New Yorker is going to a bookstore with a random one. So stay tuned. I'm going to be silent as we walk inside. Hey, how's it going?
There must be somewhere.
let's find a book on the UK. So bear with me. I'm gonna find a book on the UK. I don't see any. I'll try and find one. Oh, incidents of travel in Egypt, Arabia, and the Holy Land. Oh, so cool. Wow. Huh. That's awesome. Ooh. Nope. No UK.
You really want to check up on it? Oh, that's Alcon, the E. Come here.
Hey, excuse me, do you have any good books on England or UK?
That
You have any good books on the UK or England?
on the
Yeah.
we probably do. You have to look
Any
over
recommendations?
on the history section.
Yeah.
It's probably where you'd look.
Ooh, which way?
All right. So as soon as you get into the left-hand aisle,
Yeah.
it's the first bookcase on your right. On the left-hand aisle, the first bookcase on your left.
Okay, cool.
Now, if you go back, you know, on the opposite side, there's the military. You might find a little there, and then sprinkled around. You have travel. You have different sections back there. You know.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, wow.
Yes,
All right. That's better.
Roman.
Yeah,
We went into the classics. Great.
I did, yeah. Sometimes those books nowadays, they don't print books like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
L'un des enregistrements les plus fabuleux de Sanson François, c'était exactement le 20
the
juillet
tourist board.
1961. La sonate pour piano
So
numéro
that's
3 de Alexandre
757.
Stonewall,
Awesome.
sonate pour fa dièse mineur avec tous les sortilèges évidemment de scriabine, parfaitement restitué et retranscrit par Sanson François dans une écriture donc de grande importance dramatico.
Se désaimer, se déchirer, se retrouver. Avec les 7 mariages des gars de Ludmilla, Jean-Christophe Ruffin ose une réponse.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Les 7 mariages
Thank
des
you.
gars
Have a great day.
de
Thank you.
Jean-Christophe Ruffin.
All right,
Vous
perfect.
allez aimer cette fois les presses. Enfin disponible en poche chez Folio.
All right. There we go. So I found the book. Let me put my. There's a lot of construction going around here. So yes, this is Mercer Street Books. Mercer Street Books. And I found the book I needed of England. Roman England, which is exactly what I want to cover we'll show you more ruins and very, very old ancient places in England, which they have a whole lot, sometimes more than even other European countries. And you're really shocked that only Stonehenge is really covered, but they really don't go in depth into all the other Roman ruins and also the megalithic ruins that are all around England and the UK. So let me show you a little bit about the book, but I gotta go somewhere where I can put my camera down. Send a PayPal. I would like to contribute to the England book. Oh, thank you so much, Laureen. I really do appreciate it. All right. So that was a really cool book experience. I hope you enjoyed it. It's really cool going to bookstores. There's a lot of them here in New York City still left. And there's a great documentary. I haven't seen it, but the trailer looks amazing. I can't wait to see it myself. It's called Booksellers, and it's about bookstores here in New York City. So let me show you a little bit about the Roman book. What struck me is usually when I do research, I like reading either two types of books. Books that are very specific about something in history. So if it's like about like salt, I have a book called Salt, the World History. Or I also read a book about the oyster history here in New York City. Or in Paris, I read about the Belle Epoque, right? When I like reading books that are very specific about history. Or I like books that are more generalized, that have a lot of pictures. Because I don't read good. No, just joking. I like having a lot of pictures because, I don't know, it's nice to visualize these things. It's nice to know what I'll be visiting in UK when I do my epic 3-month trip all around the UK and potentially Ireland as well. And let me know if you would like to see Urbanist in the UK. So, and someone mentioned Göbekli Tepe. I can't wait to go to Göbekli Tepe. Sounds like an amazing place to visit. So let me fit this into my bag. It's a pretty big book, so I hope I can fit it. Yeah, I can fit it. And people said they prefer Kindle. Yeah, I like Kindle too. When it comes to books with pictures, I prefer in print. But I'm one of those rare people who usually always carry. Oh, this is hard to fit. I'm one of those rare people who usually carries a Kindle with a real book. Why have one when you can have both? The ones I read on Kindle usually are the non-fiction ones with very few pictures. And that book was a steal. Yeah, $7.50. Those books, you find the new one, it costs you $30. Also, I gotta take a water break. Are those books cheaper than the bookstore? Yes, this is a used bookstore. Everything that you saw in there was used. So, a coffee table books, $7.50. You maybe go for a novel or you go for a paperback. It might be even like $2, $3, $4. So, come to Buenos Aires. I would love to go to Buenos Aires. Yeah, I would love to go to Buenos Aires. You'll see me at Buenos Aires at some point. And unless it's $1,000 signed Kerouac, which I think they have a few rare books, but there's a few other bookstores in New York City that sell exclusively rare books. There's one close to Serendipity 3 in Midtown East. If anyone can remind us the name of that place. It's a very expensive bookstore. And the Strand bookstore, which is about a 5-minute walk away, has very rare books on its 3rd floor, including a book of Ulysses that costs over $275,000. Yep, $275K. Extremely expensive, and the reason it's one of the very few copies of Ulysses that has illustrations of Manet. And the writer of Ulysses, remind me of his name, he absolutely disliked the illustrations. He thought it was terrible, and thus he stopped printing them. And there's only very few ones left. And Rizzoli's good. Rizzoli's more of a new bookstore. That's where you get new books. And it's a really cool resource as well. Really beautiful bookstore. Argosy, I think that is the place, yeah. If you come to Buenos Aires, I'll give you a tips. Awesome. And let me know, how is it using a camera in Buenos Aires? The reason I'm a bit hesitant sometimes going to these cities in South America is I don't know if people are so friendly with someone carrying around a camera. When are you going to the UK? Hopefully soon, 2021. I'm really crossing my fingers for that. Oh, poor Angelica Film Center, one of my favorites. Movie theaters, and this is one of the places I would frequent as a New Yorker, and it has been shut down because of the pandemic. Manolito says it's kind of dangerous with the camera. Yes, Buenos Aires, yes. That's why I'm a bit hesitant to go to South American countries. But maybe whenever I have the budget to travel with someone who can film me, and yeah, like a videographer. It'll be nice to travel with a buddy. Then maybe I'll do more South America at some point. Ana dice, tienes que tener cuidado que no te adoben. Ana says you have to be careful they don't rob you in Buenos Aires. Sí, exactamente, Ana. Precisamente. Mejor cuando tengo alguien que pueda acompañarme en los viajes míos, puedo ser Argentina y otros países también. Manolito says, but you can film in so many places. I can imagine. Let me know if there's a lot of museums or inside places to visit in Buenos Aires as well. Is Angelica closed permanently? No, just closed for the pandemic. Though Regal is in danger of closing permanently, for example. So I hope not. I hope things are okay. Brazil, they were robbing for the camera, says Joe. Oh yeah. I can imagine. I barely see videos about Brazil or South American countries. Most vloggers do Machu Picchu, but I rarely see other places. I've seen Medellin a few times. I think people really like Medellin, Cartagena. But I haven't really seen Buenos Aires, vloggers going to Buenos Aires or going to Rio de Janeiro or Sao Paulo or Asunción or Montevideo or Santiago. Not that many. There's a great guy, Drew Binsky. He does a lot of great videos in those countries. But he doesn't do it live. He does record it. Have you gone to the Momo Design Store? No, I haven't been. Let's see if we can check it out. It's right next to here. Do they have mosquitoes in Buenos Aires? I don't know. I would doubt it because it strikes me as it's not. I don't think it's such a swampy country, or at least the city. I don't think it's built on swampy land, but maybe I might be wrong. Unlike parts of New York, or unlike other cities like Rome, parts of Paris as well are built on swampy land, so that's why there's more mosquitoes. There are a lot of Brazil walking videos, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Cheryl says, get a stealth camera for Brazil. New way of live streaming. Maybe. That'll be true guerrilla lives. Beautiful day in New York. Also, housing bookstore isn't bad. Yes, it's a really good bookstore. So let's do that as we zigzag around Soho. Are bookstores becoming less because of the interwebs? Big chain bookstores like Barnes & Nobles? Yes. Or like we see with Borders, which closed about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But smaller independent bookstores are now popping up more and more. the pandemic has changed things a little bit, but prior to the pandemic, independent bookstores were getting popular. And the reason they were getting popular was because it was people yearned to have an actual physical book in their hands. And they yearn to just explore a bookstore, which you can't quite do online. You don't have that discovery process of just bumping into a book like we did today with Rome in England. So I think bookstores are doing well nowadays. And even Amazon itself has made brick and mortar bookstores. Brick and mortar is a term used here in the US standing for a physical location. How many miles long is Manhattan? Someone can remind me how many miles long is Manhattan. I forgot exactly how much. Converse, one of the stores I usually frequent because I usually wear Converse or Converse type shoes. Poor Dean and DeLuca. Dean and DeLuca was David Bowie's favorite supermarket. It was the supermarket featured countless times in the TV show Sex and the City. I don't think they ever shot in the store, but they definitely bought food and mentioned it by name in the show. And it closed, unfortunately. It was extremely expensive supermarket. If you think Whole Foods was expensive, Dean and DeLuca was like 2 or 3 times the price. Like a jar of jam would cost you like $15 in Dean and DeLuca. Where am I heading? Preppy. I am wandering around. I'm in the neighborhood of Soho. So if you're new to this show, I really don't follow directions or follow a set path. So just ditch the map and enjoy the wandering, the meandering. 13.4 miles long. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Judith, Richard, Patricia. 13.4 miles long. Yes. It's awesome. It's really cool. Long island. But you can technically walk in a day. It'll take you a few hours. But it's definitely doable. I never shopped at Z-Bars. Oh, Z-Bars is amazing. Oh, maybe not for shopping every day because it is expensive, but to get that arugula and all those other classic Jewish American treats, Z-Bars is amazing. You're close to that cheesecake place. So yes, I am close to Eileen's Special Cheesecakes. One of the best cheesecakes in all of New York. Go back and get a gyro from the halal truck, says Stefanos. I don't like the halal trucks here. The one I really only go to is the halal guys. Oh, there's also another one called Kalibash. And that is right by Lincoln Center. Have you seen You've Got Mail? No, I haven't. Actually, sorry, my mistake. I have seen You've Got Mail, but not in many years. Oh no, it's closed. So this is another great bookstore of New York, Housing Works bookstore, and it's shut down. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I've done a video inside before, so you can go back on my Facebook videos. But it's closed. Oh, this is such a shame. That's what I look like with my camera. Why is it closed? I'm pretty shocked to see it closed. Is that Indian restaurant still open at the end of the block? No, Devotee. That closed down about 4 years ago. I think you're referring to Hudson Chutney Company. Or are you referring to the Pakistani place that sells fake, or not fake, but their own version of the Big Mac? Yes, it's still open. This is Lahore. They're Pakistani. Or Pakistani and Bangladeshi. Lahore, right here. I've covered it before. Search Urbanist Fat Dave. He is a tour guide, and he took me all around awesome places in New York, including street food. So let's see if Housing Works thrift store is open. I'm gonna check if this is open. And again, as I go inside stores, I can't really talk because going in guerrilla style. So let's see if we can check it out. Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much. Have a good day. Oh, I should have asked about the bookstore. Oh, never mind. These guys are also owned by the bookstore. The cool thing about this place is that they donate to people who suffer from AIDS. And they've been doing that, I think, since the 80s, if I recall correctly. It's a really, really cool resource. I think they also help people who are addicted to substances. So it's been a really cool force for good. Housing Works. So they do sell vintage clothing, and it might be a little bit more expensive than other vintage stores, other thrift shops. But I recommend, if you want to support or help out people who are suffering from AIDS or substance abuse, this might be a good place to go. If you have a little bit extra money, you can afford it, maybe consider coming here for your thrift store. And whenever the bookstore opens up again, they're owned by the same people, and also proceeds go. Everyone who works in here are working as volunteers in order to support those people who suffer from AIDS and substance abuse. So highly recommend going here if you have a little bit extra money. It is more expensive, but it's for a good cause. How did you get back to Boston with COVID restrictions? Ash, there was no COVID restrictions between New York and Massachusetts, which is the state that Boston belongs to. No restrictions. There are restrictions if you're coming from other states, like Florida, North Carolina, I think California maybe. There's a few other states. I don't know all the regulations, but I did not encounter anything. Got on the train, only the conductor checked my ticket once, and that was it. Came back to New York, got back home, that's it. Didn't encounter anything at all. So, and so, do you prefer style over comfort? That is a great question. Do I prefer style over comfort? Both. So there is a perception that either you're stylish or you're comfortable. There's a perception, especially as you walk through New York City, and especially, or I know as for men's fashion, there's a perception that if you're stylish, if you're fashionable, it's going to be uncomfortable. And yes, it can be. If you're a guy, you can wear those very designer skinny jeans. They're so tight, they tighten up your calf muscles. And you don't want to do long distance walking with those. I can tell you that. Or you can wear some like Doc Martens or some very expensive leather designer shoes that sometimes might be a little bit rough on the feet. But it's not always the case. I think you look at Europe for fashion. Because if you look at Europe, you end up seeing, especially France and Italy, they dress extremely well, but for everyday life. They're comfy and they're very well dressed. Women are not wearing tight little dresses, showing their stomachs. It's cool, I get it. That's a very awesome design choice. It's very enjoyable. I'll keep it at that. But if you notice in Paris, women are wearing more flowy dresses. They're more comfortable for the day, for walking around, for going to walk to a few blocks away to get your baguette, to have a nice long leisurely stroll on the Seine River. Men are not wearing super tight jeans, or they're not wearing very uncomfortable leather shoes. They're wearing leather that's comfortable. They wear the same leather shoe for years, so it gets very comfortable. They're not dressing sloppily, but they're also not dressing uncomfortably. So there's a good way to combine, and Italy and France is a great way to look at how people dress. Italy specifically for men, France for both men and women. When you go to England or you come here to New York City, you end up seeing a lot of people leisure wear or sportswear, and they do sportswear really well. Sportswear is a great way to look fancy, look fashionable, and also be very comfortable. But it is possible to have style in a way that is comfortable, and that's what I do. That's why I'm wearing a cardigan. It looks stylish. It's a great way to stay warm, and it's comfortable and looks stylish. I'm not wearing some cheaper hoodie. Again, nothing wrong with that, but if you do want to have a fashionable look, there are certain ways to do it better. And it is outstanding here in the US how we kind of forgotten about good fashion. And that applies to many other places in the Western world. We don't really care about fashion. And it's a shame because you see some people really sloppily dressed, especially once you get out of New York. And I get it, fashion is not a necessity, but there's some sort of special feeling that is felt when you dress a little bit well. You feel better inside. It's like making a plate of food that just looks a little bit better with that basil leaf or with that parsley leaf. That food, you're going to enjoy it just a little bit better. Or you serve that good cup of espresso, not in some touristy souvenir mug, but you serve it in a nice little handmade, handcrafted, or nice ceramic mug or little espresso cup. You feel good from it. Same thing with fashion. So if you come into New York City, I would recommend if you go to any major city, New York, London, Paris, Rome, Milan, experiment with dressing a little bit better. If you're not so used to dressing fashionably, experiment with dressing a little bit more fashionable. It doesn't need to be, if it's uncomfortable, don't worry, there's ways to do it comfortably. You should go to Scotland. I don't know, what's the fashion sense in Scotland? I've heard, basically outside these major cities, fashion sense is not so good. And humans in the 21st century have gotten lazy with their fashion. And I've learned a lot about this through an amazing guy, Tim Gunn, who is the mentor in the show Project Runway. And he really talks about how people are very lazily fashion dressed. And he says it in a much more blunt way. So if you want to learn more about that, check out Tim Gunn on YouTube. He has a few talks about it. And fashion capitals. A sport coat is always in style. It is. And you always feel better when you dress nice. You do. So let me know what you think. We're going to continue walking around. It's to mention. This is a leisurely stroll. I'll show you the places to shop and the places that are kind of common for New Yorkers. Where do you get my fashionable max? Smart Glamour. If anyone could write down in the comments, smart_glamour with a U, written the British way. Smart Glamour. I featured her in my fashion documentary, where I used Tim Gunn as research. I wish I could have interviewed Tim Gunn, but in my fashion documentary, I interviewed an amazing fashion designer based in Astoria, independent, really forward-thinking in the way she makes fashion that's both beautiful but not gendered, and highly check it out. Tim Gunn has two ends with Tim Gunn, two ends. He's on Project Runway, but he has talks where he talks a little bit more at length about fashion. Thank you, Judith. Okay, I'm gonna put that. Check her out. It's pay as you wish masks. I really love her. She's an independent designer. And support your independent people. Big companies are cool, but if you can, support smaller companies. Because especially when it comes to fashion, smaller companies are doing things a little bit more ethical. They're not cutting corners and coming at a cost for the environment and for fashion sensibility. So yeah, support your local people. All right. G-Star has nice jeans. I've heard, yeah. Oh, here's La Colombe, but it's closed. Oh no. Another place that's closed. La Colombe, that used to be one of my go-to coffee places in New York. It was also a favorite coffee shop of David Bowie. Every time I come here to this neighborhood, I'm reminded of David Bowie because I did a video 2 years ago of David Bowie's New York. And it was a sponsored video by Sennheiser, cool German company of audio hardware. They're the biggest audio hardware company in the world. And yeah, I went to all his favorite spots. So every time I come into this neighborhood, I'm reminded of him. He lived in the building behind this one. So actually, no, he lived in this one. Yep, he lived in this building right here. His wife Iman still lives here. Iman and David Bowie's daughter still lives here. Yep. And I bet David Bowie's son visits them frequently because they have a good relationship. All right, now let's go, speaking of David Bowie, let's go to my favorite bookstore, one of my favorites, and also David Bowie's favorite bookstore. And probably the favorite of many, many people who are New Yorkers. I'm a massive David Bowie nut. Oh, cool. And Veronica says I look great. Oh, thank you. Who's the person you want to interview? If I could, I would do David Bowie. But unfortunately, he did pass away. Anthony Bourdain was another person on top of my list, but he also passed away. The number one person I really do want to interview, my dream interview. I gotta say this on camera. I want to get this on the record. The person I 100% want to interview is Pope Francis. Pope Francis, and I want him to show me around the Vatican. I want to do a live video tour with the Pope in the Vatican. I think it would be the coolest thing in history. It would just be so epic. And by extension, it would be really awesome to also do a video with the Dalai Lama. But unfortunately, he doesn't have access to the major temples in Tibet. But Pope Francis in the Vatican. It'll be in Spanish because he's more comfortable speaking Spanish, but I will do my best to translate. So let me know if you want to see an Urbanist live tour of the Vatican with Pope Francis en español. Para todo el mundo mirando en Latinoamérica, la persona que yo quiero más entrevistar el Papa Francis en el Vaticano. Si tú quieres ver un video en vivo con Papa Francis, dígame en los comentarios. Did I see the Bowie exhibit in Brooklyn? Yes, Ina, I was sponsored for the David Bowie exhibit. And I did a full tour of the David Bowie exhibit with the curator, who's an awesome guy. Check out that video on Facebook, and on YouTube. I think I also have it. So would you interview the Donald? Would I interview the Donald? No politics at all. I don't think so. I would have maybe in 2014, before he ever became president, but he's very different from the Pope. Let me say that. He's very different from Anthony Bourdain or David Bowie. And I wouldn't want to interview him, to be honest. I would love to kind of like walk around with Bernie Sanders in Vermont. That would be nice. In Burlington. It would be nice to walk around with him. Or maybe in Midwood and see his childhood home. Seems like a cool guy to hang out with. No politics, just to hang out with him. And a major political figure I would do a tour with is Obama. He seems like a really fun guy to tour Washington, D.C. with. I think he would be really interesting. He's, our current U.S. president is an interesting person, but yeah, he's. I don't think he'll be too much fun, but Obama will be fun. All right, let's go into McNally Jackson. Look at this. RBJ. Lots of books on RBJ. All right, let's go inside. So this is the #1 section you should visit here. It's all New York books. Top recommendation.
Very heavy. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
So they had a signed copy from Patti Smith's books. You saw that? That's so cool. I highlighted a few of my favorite New York City books. This place is one out of 3 different places that have great New York City sections. So if you're here in Soho and want to, you're coming to New York City, you're staying here for more than a week and want to get a book so you can have easy access to all the places aside from watching my videos, you can do so by going to the New York City section here. Another place that has a great New York City section is Strand Bookstore in Greenwich Village. And the third one is right nearby also, Barnes & Nobles. They're all right next to each other. And Love David Bowie in Labyrinth. And the store doesn't look like Barnes & Nobles. No, it doesn't. Very different. And they also have a basement. And the basement is very, very nice. It's a really cool basement. Unfortunately, there's no service down there. But there's also public restrooms. Pro tip. They don't announce it, but if you need a public restroom, basement is the best way. And they have the cheap books on the front. So they have some lower cost books. Or they have a Doctor Who book.
It's always just like, I feel like we suffer for a week and then we go out again.
Can you rent these books or no? No, Adam. The only place where you can take out a book is if you're a New York City resident and you go to the public library. Otherwise, you will have to buy them. Or you can go to Barnes and Nobles and buy a book and then return it because somehow, you know, it was the wrong book. You could do that. Don't do it with these small independent bookstores. I would not encourage people to do that. I do not condone buying a book and then, you know, it was the wrong book a week later. Oh, we have a Leon of Judah. That's my name. Lion of God, Ariel. Oh, so cool. Have I crossed any celebrities doing my live feeds? I have featured Mario Batali, Action Bronson. They might not be super world famous, but they're pretty well known here in the US. I featured them both. And have I spotted any of the celebrities? One time on a live video, I came across Sienna Miller in Washington Square Park, but I actually didn't see her. Someone else mentioned it in the comments because they saw her in like the corner of the video for a few seconds. And that's it. I haven't seen that many other celebrities, unfortunately. But maybe soon you'll see Pope Francis. You'll see a video with, who else? What would be a cool celebrity? I would love to do a New York City walk with Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke is such a cool New Yorker and such a great actor. I would love to do a walk of street art with Darren Aronofsky, who lives in this neighborhood, and he frequently takes Instagram photos of the street art of this neighborhood of Nolita, which is adjacent to Soho. Darren Aronofsky is one of my top favorite directors, so I would love to do a video with him. And maybe Patti Smith as well. I gotta find her email. If I can find her email, then I'll reach out to her, see if she's down for a live video. She might be keen on it because she just released a new book. So if anyone happens to know her email or has found it, do let me know. How about, have you met Patrick Swayze? No. Patrick Swayze? No, never seen him. But I know of him. I've seen his movies. Ghost, of course. She's beautiful. Who are you referring to? Sienna Miller? Elizabeth? Patti Smith? What corner are you at? Oh, so this was McNally Jackson. McNally Jackson on Prince Street and intersecting with Mulberry. Patrick Swayze died. Yeah, unfortunately he did. But I haven't ran into his ghost either. But then again, I never tried making pottery late at night and naked, so that's why I haven't bumped into his ghost. Here is McNally Jackson again, but instead of books, they sell stationery here, and it's a really cool shop to buy stationery. Great place to also get a souvenir. There's some things inside here that are branded New York. These bookstores are good places for souvenirs. They have great tote bags, great stationery. Sometimes you'll find New York branded stationery, or like journals and stuff like that. And here we're in the neighborhood of Nolita, and this is a great place to shop. Lots of tiny little boutiques all around, like here. Atelier Buen Parer. Don't know how to pronounce that. Forgive my French pronunciation. Galería de Artes. Aquí hay unos cuantos galerías de artes. Lo va a conseguir más galerías en el barrio cerca de aquí que se llama el Lower East Side. There's a few art galleries here, not too many. You'll be better off going to the next neighborhood down, Lower East Side, for art galleries. So on this store, since we're wandering around and going to stores, I'm choosing not to mute the video because I want to give you the audio experience. of going to these places. But now that means that the video will most likely be demonetized on YouTube. So I can't make money off the video afterwards. And of course, I make these videos so I can sustain them and continue thriving. So if you want to lend your support for these videos, you don't have to, of course, but if you like to, if you like these videos, you can do so. I'll mention this only once in the video. You can do so by either going on Patreon, which is a tip on a monthly basis, or PayPal, which is one time a tip. Or you could do a super chat, like many people have right there. PayPal.me/Ariel Vieira and Patreon.com/Urbanist. And thank you to everyone, many people who have lent their support recently. Also, Facebook supporters is another thing if you're watching on Facebook. Many other people will lend their support, like all these wonderful people and many more. So thank you everyone for lending your support. Because of you, I can do more of these meandering videos as well, along with my history tours and my food videos, where we can just go into stores where there might be music playing, but it's okay because I can still count on your support. All right, let's continue walking around. Don't violate YouTube law. It's already too late, Robert. It's already too late. All right, let's continue walking around. Let me know if you have any questions about life as a New Yorker. I will be showing you a few more stores. This is a pretty popular coffee shop and people are well dressed here. That's one thing you'll notice here in New York City. People are really well dressed, specifically in these neighborhoods of Soho and Lolita. Probably one of the best places if you're into fashion. And this coffee shop always has fashionable people taking Instagrams. This is Ame Leon d'Or. Ame Leon d'Or. Really fashionable people. Manolito calls me an anarchist for breaking YouTube law. If so, be it. Robert supports me. Yes, Robert, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have you seen Michael Jackson's book? No, I haven't seen Michael Jackson's book, but you'll probably find it in these bookstores. Otherwise, you can always buy it online. Check out with Whoopi Goldberg. Indeed, maybe that's how I can find Patrick Swayze's ghost. Don't mean to make light of his death. He died too early. He was such a great actor. And probably a great person. I don't know too much about his personal life, but probably a great person as well. Bill Cunningham. Oh, is he still alive? Oh no, he passed away. I would love to do a video of Bill Cunningham, but he has an amazing documentary called Bill Cunningham, New York. Highly recommend checking it out. Is there a tea and crumpet store nearby? Not in this neighborhood. Tea and crumpets are very rare. The only two that I know, there's three that I know of. Alice's Teacup, that's in the Upper West Side and the Upper East Side. They have three locations. Actually, there's four places to check out. So Alice's Teacup, Upper East Side, Upper West Side. Upper East Side, check out Ralph Lauren's store. And inside the Ralph Lauren store, he has a coffee shop called Ralph's, and they sell tea and crumpets. They sell amazing cream tea. And Mayors of Keswick is a British grocery store in the West Village, and they sell also amazing cream tea, and they got great sausage rolls and meat pies. And the other final recommendation, which I actually really want to try, is Tea and Sympathy. Haven't tried it yet, and I might do a special live video on it. So stay tuned for that. Robert De Niro. Oh, I would love to meet Robert De Niro. Such a classic actor. I've never seen him, but he does live here in New York City. I never bumped into him. Probably the best place to see celebrities is the neighborhood of Tribeca. There's a lot of celebrities that live there, including Hugh Jackman, Robert De Niro, and many others. Katie Holmes also lives at Tribeca, I think. It's probably the best place. So that's the West Village tea shop that I heard is great. Yeah, Tea and Sympathy. It's very rare. British food is not so popular here in the U.S. I don't think British food is really popular outside the Britain itself. So yeah, I personally love it, but I don't think people really know much about it outside of the UK. There's a famous tea shop also in Rome that was around for 100 years. This is a famous place. This is Rice to Riches. They sell rice pudding, and they have very funny signs in the front. And I'll show it to you. It's rice pudding. Any good ice cream place in Soho? Yes, we're actually right next to it. I'll point it out. Great question. It's right here. Manolito. Thank you for asking that.
Not be shaken by external happenings. Do not be shaken by the external world. But live within.
Here. My favorite ice cream store. It's a chain, so they have various places in New York, but it's my number one, personally, that I recommend. They both have amazing vegan ice cream made out of cashew milk, and they have great regular ice cream made out of regular milk, and you can barely, you can't tell the difference. Really great ice cream shop called Van Leeuwen. Scott, I think that man was having a spiritual monologue to himself. That's New York for you. He was saying that nothing, that we should not live life dependent on external things. Which, he was making some sense. He wasn't entirely crazy. It's just that's something you'll encounter in New York a lot. Can get in the supermarket too? Maybe. I'm not sure. Let's see if there's a supermarket nearby. Maybe. If we bump into one, I'll pop in, as they say in the UK. I'll pop in. Are people wearing masks? Yes. I would say 73% of people are wearing masks. Not 75, 73%. So let's go over here. And lots of cool clothing stores. There's a few Scandinavian clothing stores here in the neighborhood of Nolita. This is called Noah. Scandinavian, not so much my look personally, but it is great for solid colors. A lot of outdoor seating, yeah. Right here we're seeing a lot of outdoor seating. What event is on the left? No event. It was just lots of people hanging out. There was no event, as far as I know. Scott says, remember Benetton. Ooh, I don't know Benetton. Ronald says, spiritual monologue is an awesome observation. Yes, he was having this. Or maybe not so much of a monologue. I think a better way is a soliloquy. It's in Shakespeare, he often has soliloquies where the character would just talk for like 5 minutes about something deep about life. Soho is expensive. Wonder what city urbanists will visit next. Well, if you watch enough of my shows, I think you already know what cities I want to visit next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the best cheesecake in New York. Eileen's Special Cheesecake. Really, really great cheesecakes. Highly recommend them. Very beautiful cheesecakes. Very fluffy, very soft. And right there, we see the historic police building. Action Kid says, I'm gonna head out. Action Kid, were you watching the entire time? Action Kid, don't you have work? Thank you so much for tuning in. I was looking like you were watching for such a long time. I'll see you later tonight. Priya Kombi Fitch was Benetton. Oh, cool. I don't remember too much about it. Here's the park. Venero's has the best cheesecake. Try Eileen's. Have you tried Eileen's? Let me know. Eileen's is very fluffy, very airy cheesecake. It is more akin to the Japanese style cheesecake that you might have if you ever visit Japan. It's not so much like the classic New York City cheesecake, which is very kind of dense, or the cheesecake you have in diners, which are very dense and very kind of dry. This one's very fluffy. I like this one. Venero's does it more classical style, where it's a little bit more dense. Do you mind me using the line spiritual monologue in my writing? No, of course, Ron. Feel free. I'm here to inspire. This park is named after Joseph Petrosino, who was a cop who dared to defy the Black Hand. Dun, dun, dun. B. Griffin, where are we now? We are in Nolita. Oh, why did they graffiti over the old newspaper clipping? Come on, guys. Graffiti over history. It's not even a pleasant graffiti. Ooh, I smell really strong cannabis. Whoa. I'm wearing a mask and whew, get a second-hand high over here. No anarchy happening in there, that's for sure. I don't think you can quite commit anarchy with so much cannabis. And Mary, hello. And a little bit about Petrosino. I have like an entire video about him in detail, but he was the first Italian-American cop. He was very short. He was about 5'7", which was very short for a cop. No, he was 5'4", so he was very short. 5'7" was the minimum you had to be for a cop. But they made an exception in order to just like be a little bit more diverse. And he was the first cop that dared to defy the Black Hand. And the Black Hand was a group that would put ransom common Italian folk, saying, if you don't pay us a certain amount of money, we will kill you. The thing is with the Black Hand, unlike spam emails you might find in your email today, that they still do the same thing, they sometimes would carry out those actions, which was very scary. They would sometimes put bombs in these places. So people were terrified. Italian Americans were terrified. And he went undercover to exploit the Black Hand. The Black Hand got so infamous that they targeted Enrico Caruso, who was one of the top opera singers of his day. And that's when they entrapped the Black Hand. And then he went to Sicily. And in Sicily, the Sicilian mafia got wind of where he was, and he was shot to death. So this man deserves a movie. It's a really epic story. Sad that he died very early in his career, but really, really epic story. I think this is something Martin Scorsese should direct. I mean, I would be happy to direct it, but if Marty says yes, he should have it first. If Marty says no, then all right, everyone, you'll be seeing Petrosino, or The Black Hand by Ariel Vera. I think that'll be a better title. The Black Hand by Ariel Vera. If Marty says no. Here's one of the more fashionable shops. This place, you come here later in the afternoon or at night, this place is where you will see most of the fashionable people of Soho. Really well dressed. Some you'll see models that appear in Vogue. You might see a few celebrities hanging out here. This is a really kind of like trendy spot. Not necessarily expensive, it's just really trendy. It's called Cafe Select. Pay or Die was a movie made in 1960. Oh, cool! It was they use him in the movie. That's awesome. He sounds like a brave policeman. The NYPD should take notes. Indeed, they should. Band of the Hand. You're very generous with Marty. Yes, B. Griffin, I'm being very generous with Marty. he deserves a good movie. He deserves a second Oscar.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
if he wants to accept it, he should. Were the Black Hand connected to Italian anarchists? Yes. Yes and no. Not so much was known about the Black Hand. They were an organization that traced their roots all the way back to Sicily. Italian anarchists were kind of a different breed. They might have not been directly associated with the Sicilian Mafia. Mostly because Sicilian Mafia is the opposite of anarchy. It's a family kind of patriarchal system of power. So they probably wouldn't have been so keen on collaborating with another power structure. And thus, I don't think anarchists were really connected with the Mafia. They might have collaborated with them or taken advantage of their connections. That might have happened. So yes and no. Though in the American public eye, they often conflated both of them. What about the Irish mob? They were mostly based in Hell's Kitchen. And of course in the early days of 5 Points, which is this neighborhood down here. That's where the Irish mob used to be. Ooh, beautiful artwork. The Westies were the Irish mob. Thank you, Scott. Yes. Is there a place to WTC from here? WTC is within walking distance. It's about a 20-minute walk. It's fairly close. You just continue down Broadway, which we're popping up right now, and you walk southward, and you'll reach WTC fairly quickly, 20 minutes or less. Also, you can take the train from Canal Street, which is only 2 blocks away, and take the N train, or one of the yellow trains, and get there also very quickly. The R train. The R train will take you directly. I heard The Godfather plans to recut for number 3. Ooh, that's interesting. Francis Ford Coppola. I've been learning a lot about him. There's a great video series on YouTube by a man who's based in New York. His name is Cinema Tyler. Actually, I'm tempted to reach out to him, do a video with him. He covers the history of cinema in in-depth detail. He's doing a series about Apocalypse Now. What about the sitcom Friends? Not much is shot in New York City from Friends. The only thing you see is the exterior shots for the intro, which is in the West Village, one neighborhood down. I think Monica lives where you're at. Ooh, are you referring to the star? Courtney, what's her name? Courtney something? I heard some guy does Goodfella tours. Ooh, I haven't heard about that, but that sounds interesting. It's probably in southern Brooklyn, because there's not that much Godfather spots here in Manhattan, maybe in Lower East Side. Courtney Love? I don't think it's Courtney Love. What's her name? Courtney Cox? Courtney Cox, is it? Courtney Arquette? Oh, I forgot her name. Courtney Cox. Okay, Courtney Cox. Wasn't it Courtney Cox Arquette for a while, or did she divorce or something? Cast iron alert, yes, cast iron. B. Griffin, that's right. Oh my gosh, perfect weather today. It really is perfect weather today. Wow, a lot of people are watching on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome everyone, nice to see you here. I'm Ariel, we're exploring New York City. Let me know where we're watching from. All right, let's go to our first stop where I'm gonna find a cardigan, J. Crew. I'll be silent, enjoy the shopping experience. Hey, how's it going? Good. Where's your cardigans?
Cardigans?
Yeah.
We have... they're going to be in those top drawers there. That's kind of what we have at the moment.
Oh, when do they usually bring more?
They'll start filtering in. They've been filtering in
Filtering.
already.
Oh,
so,
cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
Slowly trickling.
this song. Oh, it's such a great song. So thank you so much. So that was J. Crew. They have very few carnigans. I don't get it. Carnigans are like fall type of sweater, and for some reason this fall there's like no carnigans. Very few. If anyone's into fashion, let me know why. I'm very curious. Why are there barely any carnigans in these stores during carnigan season? That was J. Crew. That was J. Crew. And yeah, nice indie rock music in there, indie pop music. Here's a Halloween store. Spirit Halloween. Go to a vintage shop. I think I might, Jenny. I think I might. On to the next carnigan hunting. Yeah, there's Urban Outfitters, which I go from time to time. It's a nice area. They're slowly closing. They have less and less stuff. All right, I gotta take a water break. Go Zara. Okay. Let me take a water break. Let me know if you have any questions about New York, living as a New Yorker. As you can see, it's normal. It's a supply chain. They're proving hard to get, says Kay. That might be the case. Since carnigans are a little bit more kind of handcrafted in many cases, or at least they're a little bit more time intensive, I assume, to make, because it's kind of like, it's not as easy as a shirt, I think. That might be the reason, yeah. Do I live here? I live in New York, yes. Go to Coach. Coach is mostly for purses. But if you want to see it, maybe we'll pass by it. I think it's a little bit further down. And where is there to do besides shopping and eating in Brooklyn and Manhattan? There's a bunch of places. Today, you're just seeing shopping and eating because I just want to show you a normal New York day for me. I'm just shopping and eating. That's what I would do casually. Or I make videos, which you already see, me making videos. So my other part of the day would be reading, and it would be watching documentaries and listening to podcasts in order to make better videos, or would be editing video for a client, which I do as a freelance filmmaker. That would be my other day of life. But whenever I'm looking for clothing or eating or having a cup of coffee, this is basically what I do. And that's why I wanted to show you today. Coach is huge. They might have furniture now. Coach is but gigantic, yeah. All right, let me show you a little bit more of Soho. Usted tiene que ganar un viaje hasta Los Ángeles. Ah, una vez voy a Los Ángeles, sí. Hay un poco de historia ahí, bien interesante. Y me encanta la historia de cinema. So yes, I gotta go to Los Angeles one day. There's a lot of cool history there, especially the history of cinema. So maybe one day. Cross someone in the sidewalk so we can hear, I'm walking here. Like Dustin Hoffman in Midnight Rider. Yes, Midnight Cowboy. Yes. Where does Scarface live? He lives in Miami. He has a little friend also with him. And he gets high in his own supply, so That's where Scarface lives. They have carnigans. Ooh, where? Here's the fire truck. It's so cool. Look at that. Have the most shops open since BLM? Since the protest? Yes. All the shops, almost all of them have reopened since the protests. The protests were only really for like a month. Since then, things have been back to normal. Of course, this is much emptier than usual because a lot of tourists also come to Soho. Shop at K-Bar, more cheaper. I get it, K-Market has good deals, but it's not quite my style, personally. Kmart, you might buy something that looks nice, but it won't last for too long. It might worn out within a month or two, just similar to H&M. I don't think I could go to Zara because they have their store in the basement, which has terrible service. But this is Zara, it's huge. Their men's section is down below in the basement. I can't go because they have very poor service in the basement levels in many of these locations. But I'll show you more stores. If anyone has any extra questions, feel free to ask. Try L Train Vintage, Mary. I think I might go there after this video, which is all the way in the East Village. It's 60 degrees. Yes, Kmart is closed. I'm not entirely sure if it is. Is it? Let me know, Judith. Where did you hear that? Did they announce it? Here's All Saints. This is a very expensive store. But they always have really cool stuff. I never buy here because it's like 3 or 4 times more expensive than other shops. Well, look at this jacket. This is a really cool jacket. Brooks Brothers for carnigans that last. Ooh, Devil Tea. I never shopped at Brooks Brothers. I will give it a look. Do they have a store here in Soho? I don't think so. I think they're in 5th Avenue and in the malls there in Manhattan, like the Columbus Circle one. Let me know, where is the Brooks Brothers? They also have their original store. I think 5th Avenue is their original one. Or the Upper East Side one. So, yeah, great suggestion. I enjoy it. Hey Johnny, do I listen to Barry Boys? Yes, I do. I love the Barry Boys. They inspired me to start this show. I started learning New York City history thanks to them. And I have interviewed them, but it was before I started Urbanist. I used to do videos for a company called Vox Media, and I interviewed them on live video for them, for that company. So it was really cool meeting them in person. They signed my book and everything. Really awesome guys. So for context, Barry Boys make podcasts about New York City history. Similar to me, but I do a live video. They do it via podcast. They're more serious about sources in history, so they always provide sources, and they go really direct to first-hand accounts of the history, which is nice.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth is a true light warrior.
Oh, the spiritual monologue guy is back. He's really monologuing spirituality on his own. He's giving, as they say in New York, he gives no Fs. We have a street side preacher, but not like one who wants to convert you. He's just talking to himself. Club Monaco. Some of these stores you'll see it everywhere. Uh-oh. We have a fight, everyone.
Peanuts, how much is peanuts? Back of peanuts.
New York City fight, everyone. Oh, Max, you did business with Vox Media. Oh, cool. Have you been on the Scenic Railroad before, Adam? Yes, but that you can find that on Facebook. Go to search Urbanist Holiday Train on Facebook. Here is Uniqlo, one of my favorite stores. Uniqlo, love Uniqlo. Really great store for jeans. I get my jeans from Uniqlo. It's a great way to have great looking jeans for very inexpensive. These jeans only cost me $30, and to most people, unless if they're really into the fashion industry, would assume that these jeans are $100, $200 jeans or more. So really cool store. Of course, fashion is a very complicated subject. There's a lot of problems with fast fashion, and you can learn more about that in my fashion documentary. I get cashmere sweaters from them. Yeah, they sell great sweaters, great hoodies. I like their hoodies. I wear it when it's very cold. Of course, we'll see Banana Republic. We'll see a lot of like these more popular stores you'll see in all around malls in New York. We have Aldo. And we have the Museum of Ice Cream, which I have actually done the video of. You can search that also on Facebook. Museum of Ice Cream. And Converse. We're back to Converse. All right. So, we're already in Soho, and someone outright, or a few people, there was a few of you, outright demanded that I go to eat a cronut at Dominique Ansel. Like demanded. Even though I've eaten so many cronuts on my videos, they demanded to see a cronut once again. Should we give in to those demands? Let me know. We're nearby. Let me know. Should we give in to the demands of our viewers that have said, eat a damn cronut? Let me know. This is pretty much shopping. I'll search Books Brothers later. Thank you for the recommendation on carnigans. Hopefully you will see me in a new cardigan, a red one or maybe another color like a beige one soon, because I need a beige one to match my shoes. So you might see me in different cardigans soon. So thank you for the recommendations. But let me know, should we give in to the demands of fellow urbanists who said, eat a damn cronut? Hey, how's it going? We want cronut. Kay is demanding. We want cronuts. I mean, hey guys, don't threaten me, all right? Like, chill. Should we eat cronut? Let me know. Wendy, what is a cronut? A croissant? If a croissant had a baby with a donut, and they had a very nice night together in Paris after going on a date on the Seine River, and then they flew out to New York City to continue their date in the rooftop clubs here, and they got it on and had a baby, that would be a cronut. That was a lot of detail, but yeah, that's a cronut. The black hand says cronut or die. Uh-oh. I get the black hand on my stream. Here is McNally Cafe, very famous cafe. Wendy says I needed one of those explanations. Oh, I'm glad that helped to get the idea of what a cronut is. Belgian block streets of New York. Doesn't sound so romantic as cobblestone streets of New York, even though they're technically Belgian blocks. And some events are, people are shopping here. It's one of those stores where they sell limited merchandise and people line up in front. So this is a store called Monocle. Haven't heard of it. Am I near a little cupcake shop? Yeah, I'm actually the opposite direction. Where I went to the bookstore, McNally Jackson, it's right there in the corner. Really great place. Little cupcake bake shop. Highly recommend their red velvet cakes. So everyone's here popping in the club. That club being the Apple Store. But this club is very popular. People get their iOS on. They're iOSing all night long here at the club. hanging out with some geniuses. Monocular is super high-end puffy coats and ski wear, says Jenny. How far am I from Canal Street? 4 blocks down this way. 4 blocks this way. Very close. Montclair, that's Montclair. That's how you pronounce it, Montclair? It doesn't look like it's spelled Montclair. Are they really French? If they're really French, I'll say Montclair, but if they're not, you know, some of these American brands try to sound French. I ain't gonna give them the luxury of giving them a French pronunciation if they're not truly French. Is this Soho? Yes, it is. Oh, look at this. Whoa, that's a really cool fashion. Why don't they have clothes like this for men? It's such a shame. Okay, so they're really French. Thank you. Montclair. They're really French. It's like the cannoli debate here. You know, you have a cannoli here in New York. It's cannoli, it ain't canola. We're in New York, we're not in Italy. But if it is French, it's Montclair. Okay, thank you. Fashion people. Anyone who's a designer, please stop making amazing patterns and beautiful designs solely for women. That is sexist, that is gender conformist. Please expand your lines to include men's fits. This is a serious, serious message I send out to the world of fashion, everyone. Don't worry, the black hand won't be behind your back, but do consider, with a very serious, stern face, making women's clothing into men's fits. Come on, guys. I want to wear some fancy patterns. I don't want to just wear solid colors. This ain't Scandinavia. This is America. Make a male bra. Oh, Jason, yeah, that's not necessary. I mean, no judgments, but not necessary. Your mask is unisex. Yes, it is. I get 4 cannolis from Sorbillo on Thursday, but it was listed on their menu as a canola. Well, that place is Italian, so I don't blame them for saying cannolo. But I'm so glad you went to Sorbillo. Awesome. Jacqueline says, my next gig. Ooh, for what? Tom DeGallo has an awesome video on Soho history. Yes, indeed he does. I love the world music section. Ooh, Judith, what are you referring to? Ooh. Never noticed this plaque before. Chester Rampkin, father of Soho, scholar, city planner, visionary, urbanist. What? Oh my God, I found a plaque with the name of the show. That's so cool. Everyone, this is a momentous event. Urbanist. So cool. Wow. Who transformed a morty-bound industrial zone into a vital artistic, commercial, and residential community. New York City Planning Commissioner. All right, everyone. When I pass away at the ripe old age of 210, please, can someone promise me, will you make me a plaque that says Ariel, urbanist? My name isn't urbanist, but I would love to be considered at some point in my life, once I pass away at the ripe old age of 210, to be considered an urbanist. So can anyone promise me they'll do that for me? I'm sure someone will surpass me in 210 years old of age that's watching right now. Ronald says 220 is better. No longer the urbanist. I don't consider myself the urbanist, but I am a urbanist. The show is called Urbanist, but I don't presume to be an urbanist, though I would like to be one. The city can grant your wish. If you take me on your next trip, I will make it happen, says Wendy. Well, thank you, Wendy. I'm glad you intend on living far for surpassing 210. Thank you. Life gets better after 220, says B. Griffin. It's an urbanist, yes. You could put one up on your own. No, that's no fun. That's no fun. It's like buying your own birthday cake. I'd rather not buy my own birthday cake. I'd rather have someone bestow a plaque in my honor, and preferably after I die at the ripe old age of 210, not earlier, because that's no fun. I don't want to be alive to know that a plaque is in my honor. Scott says he was the godfather of our channel. Indeed he is. Wait, there's one with your name on it and the Urbanist logo and colors on it. Oh, is there? Okay. So here we're on Prince Street, and this is a very beautiful area of Prince Street in Soho. This used to be a classic Italian neighborhood, as evidenced by Vesuvio Bakery, which has recently been reopened by new owners, of course, but they picked up the name again, Vesuvio. And it used to be a classic Italian bakery that was more than 100 years old. Go inside the store. We'll be going inside the Cronut store. Stay tuned. We're taking a sweet, sweet time. Are you close to Prince Street Pizza? Nope, that's the opposite way. When I went to McNally Jackson, it was right next door. Will New York City still be around 210 years from now? I don't know. I hope so. I think so. I mean, 210 is not that far. Rome has been around for 2,000 years old. London has been around for 2,000 years old. Shanghai has been around for 3,000 years old. Yeah, I don't think 200 years old is that big of a leap. Vesuvio Bakery, are they hot? That's a good pun. I like that. It's crazy how far you've gotten already, Janelle. Was dude, love the quality. Looks great. Thank you so much, Omar, for tuning in. I really do appreciate the compliment. Glad you're enjoying the quality. Both the quality in the video, the quality of my voice, especially when I go down one more register and speak like I'm doing a David Attenborough video of Planet Earth. Here is Raoul's, a famous place I've never been to here, but I've heard it was good. It's also another trending place where you'll see a lot of A-listers, or not necessarily A-listers, but people who are fairly popular. If given immortality in exchange for doing YouTube videos about New York City, would you take it, Ronan? No, I would not. I don't think immortality sounds like such a bad deal. Such a bad deal. There's much more to life than life. Come on, guys. Much more life to life than life. There's much more to live than living in living. No, I would not take immortality in exchange for New York City videos. I love New York City videos. Here is David Bowie's favorite chicken sandwich. I am not joking. It literally was his favorite chicken sandwich. And we got to turn here, so let's go back. And we're going to Spring Street. Jenny says, such a bad deal. Yeah, you know, listen to any mythological tale about a god that is immortal, and often you'll see that recurring story of them kind of lamenting that they have this immortal life, and as nowhere as interesting as that limited point of view from humans' perspective. That old neighborhood looks awesome. This is an amazing neighborhood. This is Soho, but just the area after West Broadway. and it's very charming. The British came to America and took over New Amsterdam. That is correct, Jane. Yep. Can all the restaurants survive with low capacity during the winter? I'm not entirely sure. We'll see how it goes. Some restaurants are actually thriving, especially since they've pivoted to takeout and delivery. Some restaurants are really struggling. I think restaurants, some have to go with the flow. You know, just like my channel, I know many friends who are travel vloggers, and they're struggling right now. No one's really searching for travel content. Very few people are searching for travel content. Very few people are searching for cheery travel content that's about looking at beach sides and best mojitos and the coast of some Caribbean country. Not that many people are looking for that content. And, you know, I don't necessarily do that content, but I realized, wait a minute, travel, people don't care too much about it, but maybe they want to explore New York City. They still want to learn more history. They want to still kind of see what's going on. And I pivoted, and that's why it's growing right now. And I'm riding that wave. And I think some restaurants have to do the same. I know it's easier said than done, but I really do look up to the restaurants who are pivoting by offering better takeout options and maybe being a little bit more competitive in their pricing. And same thing with vloggers. I do appreciate the vloggers who are kind of pivoting, like my friend Action Kid, of course, Here We Bar as well. What a Shame Mary Jane is another one. Really great vlogger, pivoting and doing different things. They're not like listicles of travel, but instead showing just kind of how a place looks. So this street is open, which is nice. And here we have restaurants. And let's go inside Dominique Ansel Bakery. This place opened up, I think it was like 2011, 2012. I came here when I was when I was in college, and I absolutely fell in love with it before it opened. And I had a friend of mine who used to work here, and she will always give me the things for free. And it was so awesome. And I remember having picnics with my friend and a few others who she would bring after finishing her day of work, all the leftover pastries. And we would eat it outside of McCarran Park in Williamsburg. And this was before it got popular. Once it got popular, I think they no longer tolerated my friend or anyone else in the company taking away pastries for free. So she no longer works there. But let's go inside, let's grab a cronut, everyone. The Temple of Anunnaki. Oh, I would love to cover up the Anunnaki. Maybe one day. All right, let's go. Dominique and Ansel.
The next episode that you're going to watch, and that's
Oh, I thought I did already. Didn't go. Okay.
Two chocolate chip cookies and one cookie shop, please.
Hi, we'd like a cronut, please.
We're actually sold out today.
All right, in that case, I'll have a DK. Awesome, thank you. Thank you.
Supposed to be trying to sell those? Does he also have like complimentary?
So unfortunately, they are sold out of cronuts. And if you see little seating in the front, just go to the back and you'll find way more seating, which is nice. So unfortunately, they're sold out. Though I sometimes have gotten lucky after 2 p.m. Though I would say if you want to come here, don't come here early in the morning. It gets really filled up. Come here a little bit later, and don't come here on the weekend. Come here during a weekday around between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. and you'll find a cronut. Walk in, walk out. So I got their pastry that was popular before the cronut. This is what he was known for before doing the cronut. This is the DKA, and I highly recommend getting this type of pastry. It's a Queen Amman. It is a old Celtic style pastry, but in Celtic countries, say Scotland and Ireland, it's served like this huge. And also in Brittany as well, northern France. They're served this huge. He ended up condensing a Queen Amman into a tiny little, almost bite-sized pastry. And it looks like a muffin, but it's not a muffin. You'll see how thick it is. Let me bite into it. Mmm. Mmm. Oh yeah, okay, no. Cool thing about Queen Amman is very similar to a croissant, where a croissant has a bunch of layers. But the main difference is a croissant, good one, has butter. This has like 3 times the more amount of butter. So it's crunchy on the outside, but the inside, there's so many individual layers. You'll see that. And he goes intense with his layering. If you have a lazy Queen Amman, you might see, you know, maybe a dozen layers. This one has even more. And you see all kind of right here. It's a little bit hard to kind of capture on camera. It's not so visible. But if you see it right there, you start seeing all the individual layers right there. 10 times more amount of layers, right? And each layer has boatloads of butter. So this is a super buttery treat and very crunchy and very soft and buttery in the middle. It's a very healthy snack. If you're, you know, on a good diet, if you want to, you know, maintain your model figure, definitely grab this one. Because this one, you know, will maintain your model figure by eating all that butter. So no, it's not bialy. This is not bialy. It's a Queen Amman. He calls it a DK, which is Dominique Ansel's Queen Amman. I'm not sure. Yeah, Queen Amman, because the queen is pronounced queen, but it's spelled with a K. And is that snack best for breakfast? Yes, it is a great breakfast treat. It's very filling, so and it's sweet, but not super sweet. I think it's sweeter because of the butter. It's great for a dessert as well. And I think espresso cream in it will be amazing. If you want something filled with cream, go for the cronut, but you have to come a little bit earlier. We came a little bit too late here today. And what time is it? Oh my God, am I late for Action Kid? I hope not. I have to head out. But everyone, thank you so much for watching. Let me see if I left any last comments. Butter will make you slimmer. Of course, everyone knows that. I'm being sarcastic, everyone. And it's a buttery snack. It really is. It's a naughty snack filled, lathered with butter, says Happy Chick. It really is. And have you ever had a bialy? I've had a bialy, but not so many times. It's a bit rarer in New York City, though it is something that is known here in New York City. Maybe I'll visit a bialy store. And there's one specific bialy shop in the Lower East Side, so maybe I'll visit a bialy. Anyways, there might be a bonus live stream tonight. If I missed Action Kid, I hope I'm not too late. I kind of got distracted with this live stream, but I will be doing a video with Action Kid, and stay tuned. Maybe we'll do a live video together. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And this was a day in the life as a New Yorker. I hope you got cool vibes from shopping and from enjoying food, everyone. And of course, thank you for all the supporters. We popped into many stores where they were playing music, so I appreciate your support for sponsoring this video. Keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.